Hi, I am Shushmita and this is my first YouTube video channel, and in this video I am going to share with you the history of English literature. Yes, the very first chapter of the history of English literature. That is, yes, you got me, I think, that is the Old English period. Yes. Why should we read this chapter? What is the importance of this chapter? This chapter is very much important for the student who are pursuing BA first year or the first semesters, masters, or UGC NET or JRF. Okay. In this chapter, we're going to learn that how the language English is came to us, or the how the language English is derived. Yes. This chapter is Old English period. Now the name of this chapter is Anglo-Saxon period. It is started from 6th century to 11th century. It is started from 6th century to 11th century. Now come to the point. When the earliest people came and settled in the land of England, they were Celt. These Celt were of three kinds. They were Geols, Brythons and Belgiacs. Then how many kinds of Celts were there? There were three kinds of Celt. Number one, they were Geols. Second, they were Brythons. And third, they were Belgiacs. They spoke only two types of language, that is Celtic as well as Gaelic. They spoke only two types of language. They were Celtic as well as Gaelic. Actually, England was invaded by several kinds of invader, and each invention leaving its stamp on the language. That means on English language. Thus, the English became the mixtures of various kind of languages. Actually, English was arrived to us in 5th century by the hand of German warriors. Yes, who came across the sea, and they were angels, Saxons and Jute. After the war ended, each of these tribes settled into the different part, and they were angel settles in the north, while the Saxon settles in the south, and the Jute were settles in the Kent. In the 1790 AD, the Vikings raids by the Danes or Scandinavians. Then in 1719 AD, the Vikings raid by the Danes or Scandinavians across the sea. Many battles were fought after that, but at last the Danes, who were succeeded to stay in the land of England, and by seeing that King Alfred in the Peace of Wedmore gave them permanently the Danelaw, that is, which is currently known as England. Thus, guys, this is the historical background of the Old English period. We have discussed about the historical fact, but now we are going to discuss about the literary fact, Old English literature. Yes, in this period we could get the first English historian whose name is Bede, and second point is we could get the footstep, or we could hear the footstep of our English bard whose name is Chaucer. In this period, this consisted of 4 manuscripts that is greater part of the Anglo-Saxon period. The first point, the epic poem Beowulf, which contained Judith. Next point, the Genesis manuscript that contained poems like Genesis, Exodus, Daniel, Christ and Saturn. Number 3 point, Exeter books that was written or given by Leofric, Bishops of Devon and Cornwall, the Chancellor to Edward the Confessor, Exeter to the Cathedral. And the 4th point, the Vercelli book, which contains Andreas, the Fate of Apostle, the South of Addresses to the Body, the Dreams of the Roots and Elaine. Old English poetry is described or categorized into 2 parts, and those 2 parts are Christians and non-Christian. First we will come to the non-Christian poetry, which was divided into 2 parts, heroic or epic, and the second one is elegiac. Heroic or epic poetry, which includes Beowulf, Widsith, Walder, fights of Brennenburg, the battles of Maldon. Next point, elegiac poetry, which is comprises of wanderer, the seafarer, wife's laments or husband's message. And the second point, that is Christian poetry. It also falls into two groups. Those was written by Caedmon, like Genesis, Exodus, Daniel's, Christ and Saturn's. And those were written by Cynewulf, like Juliana, Eileen, Christ, Feast of Apostles, The Dreams to the Rood, Gothic, Phoenix, and etc. Thus, these are the summary of the Old English literature. Smita, and this is my first YouTube video channel. If you like my video, then please give me the like, share and subscribe. And if you have any kind of queries, questions in your head, then please write it down in your comment section, because this video is really very much helpful for the students who are going to pursue first year, first semesters, BA first semesters, masters or UGC NET. Thank you.